Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar in the description below. Anyway, I am Aoxander, and I believe I'm going to be joined by the Golden Loon at some point today. But when that happens, it shall. Anyway, today is Saturn's Day, also known as Saturday, October 29th, 2022. 2 more days, and then it's Halloween, and I have yet to get a pumpkin or any candy, so, yeah. Anyway, let's jump on to the history, shall we? In the year 539 BC, King Cyrus the Great of Persia marched into Babylon, freeing Jewish captives and allowing them to return home. Good. So, yep. Then we're going to do a pretty good time jump here into the year 1552. Tsar Ivan IV returned to Moscow after conquering the Khanate of Kazan in the siege of Kazan. Well, okay. As long as he doesn't mess with Kazam. I believe that's the movie Shaq did when he was a rapping genie somehow. We got an execution in 1618. English adventurer, writer, and courtier Walter Raleigh was beheaded for allegedly conspiring against King James I of England. Hey, you're wearing your best pants.
Stop.
The Bobbsey twins.
The loon is late. Better late than never, I guess.
The golden times,
That's me. I am in the golden times.
Yes.
So they tell me. Looks like caca sometimes, but they call it golden.
Well, one man's treasure is another man's trash.
There you go.
In 1765, Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz made the first use of the long S for integer, helping discover integer in differential calculus.
What is integer? Never heard of that.
An integer is a mathematical term. Intergal. There's integer and interjal. Interjal. In mathematics, an interjal assigns numbers to functions in a way that describes displacement, area, volume, and other concepts that arise by combining infinitesimal data. The process of finding integrals is called integration.
There's that long S that they're talking about.
Yep, right there.
This is all new to me. I've never heard this, so you can see I'm not math savvy.
Well, neither am I.
But this is really something, yeah. I never heard that. Okay.
Now, an integer, that's something else. Integer is a whole number, a number that is not a fraction. Okay, so there we go.
Okay.
So an interjol is something split.
Yeah.
So, yep. I'm going to add this link into the underbar for further reading about this particular subject.
That's really interesting.
Well, some days we have none. Other days we have like 15 links. It's crazy. It really depends on what happens.
Yeah.
So, moving on up into 1682, William Penn, founder of Pennsylvania, landed at what is now Chester in Pennsylvania. And a few days ago, actually, he founded Philadelphia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yep. The Salem Witch Trials. That's kind of funny. I watched Hocus Pocus 2 last night. I'm not sure if you remember the first one.
I really don't. I know the name.
It's about
I don't remember the movie too well.
Like, three sisters. They're witches. The Sanderson sisters.
Yep.
The second movie is actually not that bad.
Really?
It's a Disney production. And it released earlier this year, and with how Disney's been going, I was expecting just a complete and total woke fest. But it's actually not bad.
Okay, so wow, if it was released this year, that's a long time between movies. Then.
Yeah, they actually played it off in the movie. It's like, hey, how long has it been since 1996? Like when one of the characters rose from the dead. It's like, wait, Anyway, let's move on up into 1692. The Salem Witch Trials, as I said, Court of Oyer and Terminer convened for Salem Witch Trials dissolved. So this has to be at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up in Salem, they have a whole thing on Salem Witch. The whole bit up there. It's kind of interesting, actually.
I would like to go there.
Yeah, it was well worth it.
I played this game called Fallout 4, and it was after a nuclear war and all that stuff. But that game, because there's a lot of different Fallouts, and they took place. Like Fallout 3 took place in the Capital Wasteland, or Washington D.C. Fallout New Vegas took place in the Vegas area and the Mojave Desert surroundings. Fallout 1 and 2, I believe, took place in California. But Fallout 4 took place in, I believe, Massachusetts. Boston and all that stuff in that area. And there's you can go visit Salem.
Oh, okay.
Like Salem's on the map, so like I've been in Salem in a video game at least.
Well, it's not that far out of Boston, actually.
No. Then we got a music premiere in 1787, the opera Don Giovanni, music by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, libretto by Lorenzo da Ponte, premiered at the National Theatre of Bohemia in Prague. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yep. Man, back in the day where people actually dressed nice, Now, now we just wear all these rags and, and just, yeah. Moving on up into 1888, Lord Salisbury granted Cecil Rhodes charter for British South Africa Company, and before you ask, no, he did not invent the Salisbury steak. I knew that you were going with that, because that's where I've been, In 1915, Aristide Briand become Prime Minister of France for the third time. Okay. In 1924, the Labour minority government lost British parliamentary election to Conservatives led by Stanley Baldwin. Okay. And I'm seeing there's a lot of stuff that grabbed my eye actually. Like
go for it.
Well, like it's
pretty quick, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I'm gonna go back here to 1894, the first election of Hawaiian Republic.
Oh.
So this was before they got forced into us. You know how we tricked them into joining us?
I haven't heard your story. No.
Well, it's not my story. It's it's what I've read and stuff.
Okay.
But they took advantage of the natives not understanding English. So they're just like, oh hey, just sign here. Don't worry about this. Just sign here, and they signed away everything.
You're not talking about when they became a state, when they became a territory then.
Yeah.
It would be much sooner than when they became a state.
Yeah.
They were far more sophisticated when they became a state.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
But to get to statehood, you have to be a territory first.
Yes, of course.
So
but I thought you were talking about when they became a state.
No.
Okay.
I was talking about like when we got them.
Okay.
So like because we have Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
It's a principality, but it's not a state. They don't have voting rights. So. No, they can't vote.
They can't vote. No, they can't.
No.
But they have Social Security and welfare and all that stuff.
Yeah, and they also have apparently they have like a lot of not the opposite. They have very little taxes. Like they have a lot of no tax stuff.
Okay.
So a lot of people are moving over there. So
I'm not sure about welfare. I know they have Social Security.
Yeah. But then in 1904, the first intercity trucking service, Colorado City and Snyder, Texas. So look at that.
What's that now?
The first intercity trucking service.
Oh.
So I guess moving.
Well, yeah, 1904.
With
okay.
Trucks.
Okay.
So from Colorado
Just
City.
having a truck is something.
Yeah.
1904. 1904.
Yeah, there's trucks. What did trucks look like in 1904? Let's see here. 1904 truck.
Good question.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
So first trucking service. Okay, we'll give them kudos now. Look at that.
It's just a horse carriage with a motor slapped on it.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, that's what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they had was horse carriages. They
yep.
didn't have anything.
Well, literally, this
that.
one was literally that. Like, look at that.
Look at that.
That looks like a fun ride. A bumpy one because I don't see any suspension.
For whatever reason, it looks like they're going to a fire. Obviously, they're not. They're a bunch of people in there, but it looks like it should be a fire truck.
It does.
Yeah.
It has a fire truck look.
Yeah.
This looks like a fire truck.
Oh, now that is a fire truck.
Yeah.
Not only looks, but it is.
Well, it even says fire truck right there, so that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get back into the history here. We have an election of interest in 1924. Labour minority government lost British. Okay, I already read that one. Got a music premiere in 1936. Cole Porter's musical Red Hot and Blue, starring Ethel Merman, Jimmy Durant, and Bob Hope, opened at the Alvin Theater in New York City, running for 183 performances.
Jimmy Durant, he was known for his nose.
Let's see here. Oh, wow. Yeah, wow. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Just paint it red. He's a clown.
His famous deal was cha-cha-cha.
Oh, he's that guy.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, no, I was gonna say every time I see Alvin, I either think of Alvin and the Chipmunks, Alvin,
Yeah.
Or the submersible.
The submersible?
Yeah, you don't know of the Alvin submersible?
Doesn't ring a bell.
It's for research and whatnot, but yeah, here we go.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know his name, Alvin.
Yeah, this one. It's the Alvin Submersible.
That's the one that goes really deep, right?
I believe so.
Or am I thinking of something else?
Well, actually, let's see here. Alvin Submersible. Let's see here. 6,453 meters is so yeah, the world's most successful research submarine submersible, deepest dive ever, Woods Hole in Massachusetts. So, so I guess that is like the deepest one that can have. So you're right, maybe I believe. Anyway, let's move on up here. 1941, Cole Porter's musical "Let's Face It" opened at the Imperial Theater in New York City, running for 547 performances.
Cole Porter, yeah.
Yep. 1942, Branch Rickey was named president and general manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah. There's your mom right there, Branch Rickey, Dodgers. Okay.
Yep. 1 year after her birth.
Yeah.
So, yep. Moving on up into, here, I'm just going to say this other 1942, not good. Nazis murdered 16,000 Jews in Pink's Soviet Union. Good Lord.
Wow.
Like,
what's that in what? Oh, that's where it was.
Pink's Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So it was a bunch of Soviet Jews, were just... But the Soviets, as I said, they did a lot of Holocaust things too. There's just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They killed Jews, they killed gypsies, they killed the mentally disabled.
They starved out a whole region. They took all the food to, they desperately needed money. Now it was later than that, but and let them starve. All these farmers and everybody else, thousands.
Awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful. But then I don't know why this isn't highlighted. 1945, the first ballpoint pen went on sale. Manufactured by Reynolds in the U.S., just beating Biro, whoever Biro is. But yeah,
your granddad was huge into developing the ballpoint pen. He was in research and development with Papermate.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I remember you telling me about this a long time ago when I was a kid.
Oh, okay, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of stuff with the pen, piggyback pens, and trying to write upside down with ballpoint pens. So he's doing a lot of research on ballpoint pens.
Yeah. You realize the U.S. spent I don't know how much, a lot of money developing a pen that can be used in space.
Yeah.
And you know what the Russians did?
What?
Use a pencil.
Hello.
No, actually, that's not good.
Why?
Because little microscopic things of graphite flake off and start floating around.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I had the same reaction you did until I learned about the graphite. What I just said.
Well, you never think of that.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Because you don't know, one little microscopic piece might go somewhere and then cause a short circuit between something, and all of a sudden your heat shield just deploys in space.
But you think, what's the big deal of something that you can write in space with a ballpoint pen? But no, ballpoint pens take gravity.
Yeah.
It pushes the ink down into the pen, and then it writes off of that. So without gravity, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy fix.
Speaking of space stuff, though, yesterday's show, or yesterday's news show, I reported on a company that has developed champagne for use in space, zero gravity.
Oh, I'll toast that.
Yeah. But no, because champagne, the carbonation. Yeah, that doesn't work because there's no gravity in space. There's no up, there's no down, there's nowhere for anything to go except everywhere.
Yeah.
So it doesn't fizz, and you don't smell it and all this stuff, and it doesn't explode, Actually, let's see if I can find. Here we go. Pictures. This one here.
Oh.
Yeah, see? So that way they have a thing here that holds the cork. But this is what space champagne currently looks like. Well before space tourism, but now we're ready to celebrate.
Always ready to celebrate. Here. I like that.
Anyway, 1945, Getúlio Vargas, president of Brazil, resigned. Okay? I don't know why that's highlighted and not the ballpoint pen, but okay.
Let's hope it wasn't in a coffin he resigned,
Nah. Let's see here. Died August 24th, 1954, and this is 45, so 9 more years. We got a historic event here in 54. Speaking of 54, we just talked about 54. That's weird. Colonel Gamal Abdel Nasser disbanded the Muslim Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Huh.
President of Egypt.
Yep. We got some music history here. 1956, Greek U.S. soprano Maria Callas made her Metropolitan Opera debut in the title role of Bellini's Norma.
Never heard of her.
It's an interesting hat.
Yeah.
You know, like if it wasn't so feminine, I would want one. Like take the rose away, you know, in the fishnet, and it's actually just a bucket when you look at it.
With fishnet on it.
It is. Like what if she just go in the garage? Like, you know, like like okay.
I need a hat for tonight.
My husband's bucket.
I've worn that one before. I need something new.
My husband's fishing nets. A rose from the garden. Boom! I'm ready for the night.
I got a hat.
Hey, you know, like that's ingenuity right there.
Hey, here we go.
1956, NBC anchors Chet Huntley and David Brinkley first team up in the Huntley-Brinkley Report.
Man, they were around for a long time. I didn't know they started as early as 56.
Yeah. Well, now you do.
Yeah.
I didn't either, but now I do too.
Yeah. Do you have any memory? You wouldn't. No, you were too young.
I have no idea.
Brinkley Report. Yeah, that was the national news on, what was it, NBC? Yeah, NBC.
Yeah, NBC.
They were major players in that news division, you know, for years and years. When did they retire?
Let's see here.
David, one of them retired before the other.
Let's see here. When did?
I think Chet Huntley went first.
1970.
Yeah.
So February 16th, 1970, Huntley would retire. They concluded their final newscast together on July 31st, 1970, with the following parting words: Chet Huntley, and so this difficult moment is here. That's sad.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add this wiki into the underbar, just in case anybody wants to read up more about, you know, this particular thing, because that is interesting. You know, everything's interesting in its own, you know.
And you know what? You never really knew their political views. They just reported the news.
What a concept.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you if they're a Democrat or Republican. No idea, nor do I care.
Yep. Anyway, moving on up into 1958, Boris Pasternak refused the Nobel Prize for Literature. Yeah, well, I would say good, because in my eyes, you know, I've said this 1,001 times, the whole Obama thing and all that stuff. Whatever reasons he had, I'm pretty sure it's just as valid. Just, you know, something of that, you know, of that status, you know, is just inevitably going to go sour at some point or another, just out of the way things are.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
But then again, Alfred Nobel did invent dynamite, and that invention is what, pun intended, propulsed the war industry. You know, like artillery and all that stuff.
Ah, didn't think of that.
Yeah, because you have the chemical compounds.
Yeah.
You know, you do the
Combustible.
mathematics. You figure out how big of a bang you want. Now you have a big bang. Put a fat rock on top of it, and then now you can launch it. You know, or a shell.
Yeah.
Anyway, 1959, Asterisk was first published in the French magazine Pilote by René Goscinny, illustrated by Albert Uderzo.
Never heard of Asterix.
And neither have I. I know of what an asterisk is.
Oh, yeah.
So, 1960, Cassius Clay's Muhammad Ali's first professional fight defeated Tunney Hunsaker on points in 6 rounds in Louisville, Kentucky. This is before he became known as Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, well, he changed his name well after that, after the war and everything else. Yeah. And there were some people who refused to call him Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, wasn't Muhammad Ali also the name of the president of Egypt or something, like somebody involving the Middle East? There's a leader called Muhammad Ali.
Well,
I know
he
that.
was named. He was given that name by the Muslims, obviously, in honor of somebody. I'm not sure who or what or where.
Well, I do know that
Yeah, I
Muhammad
don't
Ali
know
was the
about-
name of a former head of state at one point. Let's see here. Muhammad Ali, head of state. Not this guy. Chaudhry Muhammad Ali, best known as Muhammad Ali, was the 4th Prime Minister of Pakistan. There we go.
It wouldn't be named after him, though.
Well, no, I'm just saying, no, because I remember there was something, the political guy said something to the boxer, like, hey, you can use a name or something like that.
I don't know.
I remember.
That I have no idea.
I don't know the exact semantics, but I do remember reporting on that on the History Show in the past.
But he wouldn't have been named after anybody white, that's for sure.
Well, no.
It was more black Muslims that he was involved with.
Well, no, one's not named after the other.
Yeah, okay.
But the head of state is like, hey, we
okay.
share the same name, and you're a good guy, so you can have something like that. I don't know.
I don't know what the significance is of the name for him, but that was the Muslim gave him that name.
Well, Muhammad is the prophet.
Right.
So that's a big
right.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Ali. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, 1963, Edgar Kaufman Jr. deeded his family property, Falling Water, 1935, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, to the Western Pennsylvania Conservancy. So you know what that house is, right? The Falling Water house.
Yes. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Dude, who doesn't want a waterfall under their house? I mean, and look at this. You have a staircase right down to the river. Look at that.
Oh, isn't that?
Wow.
Look at the glass and stuff upstairs. Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome. I have seen this before, but it's good to see it again.
Although this section right here, it's so thin, all you do is it's a walk and you sit.
Well, I think it's outdoors.
Well, there's glass on the inside, and that is outdoors. I don't see any glass panels, but there's still a roof and everything. Oh, here's a floor plan. Look at that. That's really cool. I'd like to visit that one day.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And where is it again?
Western you know what? Hold on a second.
Western Pennsylvania.
Western Pennsylvania? Yeah, Mill Run, Pennsylvania.
That would be worth seeing. Really would. Is it open to the public, do you know?
Let's see here. Is Falling Water open for tours? Falling Water tours. It is open to the public for guided tours and grounds passes. All right. Well, I'm gonna add this weekly to the Underbar as well.
That's something I'd really like to see. If
I
I ever
would
get
too.
in that neighborhood, even in the general neighborhood, I'm making my way up there.
Yeah. Although I might have to avoid Pennsylvania because there's a couple people there that no longer like me anymore. So.
Well, Alex is coming. Alex is coming. Beware. They're gonna know.
Maybe. Anyway, 1966, National Organization of Women, founded in Washington, D.C., with Betty Friedan as president. Okay. All right. You go, girl.
Yeah.
Whatever. 1969, Tom Seaver voted National League Cy Young Award.
Yeah, he was a great one.
Yep. We had a film premiere in 1971, Frank Zappa's musical mockumentary 200 Motels, starring the mothers of Invention, Theodore Bickel, and Ringo Starr, premiered in Beverly Hills, California. Beverly Hills, no less, huh?
Frank Zappa. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know the movie, but maybe I'll have to see that sometime. I didn't realize he made that.
Yeah.
But Mothers of Invention. Yeah, they were good stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of Beatles, we got an album released 2 years later, 1973. Apple Records released John Lennon's fourth studio album, Mind Games, in the U.S. And in 1975, Yorkshire Ripper Peter Sutcliffe killed his first victim, Wilma McCann. He went on to murder 12 more. 13 women, the Yorkshire Ripper. Yeah, God. 1977, John Kander and Fred Ebb's musical The Act, starring Liza Minnelli, opened at Majestic Theater, New York City, running for 233 performances and winning a Tony Award. Cool. And 2 years later, got some more sports history. In 1979, Billy Martin was fired as Yankees manager for the second time.
Martin's always in this in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, just the other day,
actually. You do something every day?
Almost. This guy's turning into tennis. But no, the other day I read that he was hired for the fourth time, and I'm like, dude, stop.
Yeah, they keep bringing it back and fire him.
It's dude, just stop, retire. Rest on your laurels. How many times are you gonna have to get kicked out before you realize they don't want you? Anyway, 1982, Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson, I did not know they worked together, released a single, The Girl Is Mine. It peaks at number 2 in U.S. and number 8 in the UK.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
It sounds like a feud to me. Then again, with Michael Jackson, I don't like the term "girl" being involved in a song of his. If it was "woman," yes, but
yeah. You're splitting hairs.
1986, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher opened the final stretch of London's orbital motorway, the M25, which was then the world's longest ring road at 117 miles in circumference, I believe, or 188.3 kilometers. So, okay.
She was a great prime minister.
Yeah, Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got some more sports history in 1986. Pakistan cricket. Leg spin bowler Abdul Qadir took 6-16 as the West Indies dismissed for 53 in a 186 run defeat in first test at Faisalabad. I said this once, I say this 1,000 times. Anything that you read verbatim and at the end you think you've had a stroke, that's just cricket.
What I got out of this is he went bowling.
Yeah. 1 year later, 1987, Thomas Hearns won unprecedented fourth different weight boxing title.
I didn't realize he had that many.
And it's cool. His picture is even like, you know. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
1994, Pink Floyd finished their final concert tour with a show at Earl's Court in London, England. And he's wearing a Guinness shirt.
Yeah.
You know, the alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a scientific discovery. 1998, Space Shuttle Discovery blasts off on STS-95 with 77-year-old John Glenn on board, making him the oldest person to go into space until recently. Because I think
who went in older than him?
William Shatner.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. William Shatner, that's right. Now, what's his name went up, too? Prime guy.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
William Shatner right now is 91 years old. He was born. He was born in March 22nd, 1931. When did William Shatner go into space?
It's unbelievable. He's 91 and still going
actually,
strong.
What age was William Shatner when he went to space? 90. So
last year.
That's right, last year. So he was 77. William Shatner was 90. The record has been broken
by far.
13
well,
years.
Well, what's his Bezos was older too.
Age of Jeff Bezos. 58 years. No.
Oh no, he wasn't.
Not at all.
Then what about what's his name that went into space?
Richard Branson.
Branson, yeah.
Richard Branson.
So he's got to be
age
somewhere on my age.
72.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Shatner's got it by far, and then Glenn's still second.
Yep. Good old John Glenn. Is John Glenn still alive? I think he died recently, right? 2016.
Oh, he did. Okay.
So that's not that recent, but still, it's been 8 years.
Yeah.
No, it's been 6 years. Yeah.
16.
2016. It's been 6 years.
Yeah.
At the age of 95. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on up here to 2004. Arabic news network Al Jazeera broadcast an excerpt from a video of Osama bin Laden in which the terrorist leader first admitted direct responsibility for the September 11, 2001 attacks and referenced the 2004 U.S. presidential election.
Wonder what that means. Reference to the 2004.
Between George Bush and John Kerry.
So what would he be referencing?
Well, probably doing threats or anything. And this is why I say everything is connected, because what better way for George W. Bush to hold on to his presidency than with this terrorist that allegedly caused 9/11, even though jet fuel can't melt steel beams. We all know all the theories and everything. What better way for him to retain his seat for another 4 more years than the enemy of the United States popping back up? Nobody would want John Kerry to handle it. They'll want, good old Bushy boy, because he was around when the whole thing started. It's all politics and maneuvering and manipulation. You gotta look beyond the beyond to see what actually is going on, if I'm making any sense.
You're making sense. I just don't necessarily agree with you.
Well, provide a counter argument.
I'm not going to waste my time right now.
That means you don't have one. 2008, Quantum of Solace, the 22nd James Bond film starring Daniel Craig and Olga Kurylenko, premiered in London. That's right, I remember that. Quantum of Solace. I have not seen that yet. There's a lot of James Bond movies I haven't seen. I've only seen 2 or 3.
I used to see the original ones. I saw all of them up to I don't know how long. Then I haven't seen any of them after that.
The first one was Doctor Strangelove, right?
I'm not sure.
You know what? Let's see. First James Bond movie. Uh, James Bond. Well, the very first James Bond. Doctor No. Okay, it was
I
Doctor
was
something.
going to say Doctor No, but I was guessing.
Yeah, Doctor No. That's the guy, the bald guy with the cat and everything. Because I remember, like, I think it was the second movie. He just he picked him up in his wheelchair with a helicopter and then threw them down a chimney.
What year is Doctor No? Does it say there?
May 8th, 1963.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Goldfinger came. Sean Connery had to be about 65.
Goldfinger is 64. You're close.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we got a historic event here in 2008. 10th century Archimedes palimpsest featuring lost work of Archimedes made freely available on the web 10 years after bought by unknown tech figure. Wow. So mathematician and inventor Archimedes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Greek, way back in the killed while under siege. That's how he died, but nobody knows his birth or death years. That's weird. I'm seeing, well, I'm seeing BC here. So wow. So we know he existed. We just didn't know exactly when, or like the exact times. Let's move on up here to 2017. Some more sports history here. British Mercedes driver Lewis Hamilton finished a distant ninth in Mexican Grand Prix at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, good enough to clinch his fourth Formula One World Drivers' Championship. And I spoke about this guy the other day. Once again, this what is that symbol on his hat? Is that Mercedes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it says right there, Mercedes. I'm stupid. At the same time, 2017, Danish tennis star Caroline Wozniacki defeated U.S. Venus Williams 6-4, 6-4 to win the WTA Finals title decider in Kallang, Singapore. Now that's weird. They have a picture of her, like dressed at some ceremony, and then they have a picture of this lady, and she's like, in mid-fall, her hair's up, and she's like.
Well, she was playing tennis at the time, obviously, and the other one's at a banquet or something. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the differences in pictures is kind of funny. Then 365 days later, in 2018, far-right politician Jair Bolsonaro won Brazil's presidential election, defeating Fernando Haddad. Huh. All right.
I vaguely remember him being interviewed somewhere, and I was interested in the guy, and I can't remember what it was. Go ahead.
Well, Brazil, is not doing too hot. So, at the same time, here we go. German Chancellor Angela Merkel, boo, announced that she will not seek re-election in 2021 and step down as party leader. I don't think she honored that, right? Like she's back in the race, right?
No.
I don't know.
No. Right now, I mean, you're looking at her policies. It's devastated Germany. Everything she's done.
Yep.
Went with pushed the Russian scenario for oil and gas, and shut down nuclear, and now they're going to be looking at burning wood, I guess. I don't know, or coal or something. They're scrambling. They're going to freeze over there, all from her policies.
You see, this is what makes her worse than Hitler, because at least Hitler cared about Germany. At least he cared about something. She's just screwing everything up. Anyway, at that same time, 2018 as well, a new mega airport opened in Istanbul by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, planning to be the world's busiest with 90 million passengers by 2021. Well, I wonder if it hit that goal, because that was last year, almost 2 years ago. Well,
20,
yeah. And Istanbul, I actually call that Constantinople, because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. And then just move on into bursts, actually, here. Well, before we do so, audience, were there any articles that grabbed your attention more than most? Anything that you saw from the the white sections in between the black, that you saw for a quick glance that you wished I would have said something on? Anything you want to add? Start up a dialogue in the comments section. Anyway, bursts, starting us off in the year 1463. Alessandro Ascellini was an Italian physician and philosopher, born in Bologna, Italy, dying in 1512. He was born in a sandwich meat. How about that? I wonder if he was the Earl of Sandwich. Which, the history of the sandwich is really interesting. Sandwich was invented by, some king demanding some kind of unique food or something. Because, hold on a second. Inventor of sandwich. John Montagu. According to history, the sandwich we know and love today was created in 1762 in England. Most food historians agree that the sandwich is the product of John Montagu, the 4th Earl of Sandwich. Montagu was known for being a problematic gambler, spending hours upon hours at the card table. So that's why he wanted a sandwich.
Wait a minute. Yeah, but the interesting part of the 4th Earl of Sandwich?
Yeah.
So now we know it came from sandwich.
That's where it got its name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
Thank you, 4th Earl of Sandwich.
Which, by the way, you know how the tuxedo got its name?
No idea.
So let's see here.
What does that have to do with sandwiches?
Well, it's the way, okay, how the tuxedo got its name. Tuxedos likely got their name from Tuxedo Park, the first planned residential community in New York, in which somebody dressed up in the first modern tuxedo, custom made. And then that get-up was called a tuxedo because he wore it at Tuxedo Park.
I was going to tell me it was Halloween. He was dressing like a penguin.
No. No.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. But the sandwich thing just caught me for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. And you like sandwiches, Like what man doesn't like sandwiches? Sandwiches are awesome. You 2 things of bread and some meat, slap things together, boom, you got a meal.
Show me a man, I'll show you a sandwich.
Exactly. That's a good saying, actually. Let's see here. Then we have Abraham Kuyper, born on this date in 1837, was a prime minister of the Netherlands from 1901 through 1905, born in Maasluis, Netherlands, dying in 1920. This guy, he kind of has that same face as that one guy. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
That the picture is like you remember that?
No.
Like the baseball guy.
Oh, okay.
The round face and surprised look.
Okay.
He kind of has like at the beginning of it, as the start of it, and then,
He's only slightly surprised.
Yeah. Then we have Franz von Papen, 1879, a German diplomat and chancellor, 1932, born in Wirral province of Westphalia, German Empire, dying in 1969.
That helmet has you all over it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, there's a name for it, I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah, you're right, there is.
But yeah, no, I want one of those. We have Joseph Goebbels. 1897, German politician and Reich Minister of Propaganda in Nazi Germany from 1933 through 45. Born in Radiet, Germany, dying in 1945. Thank God. So, yeah, Goebbels, one of.
I wonder if he was executed or just.
Either that suicide.
Suicide.
One of two.
Yeah.
When it comes to Nazis, they either killed themselves or were killed. So, or they went to.
Or they faked out and thought they were killed.
Went to Argentina.
Went to Argentina.
Yeah.
Could go either way.
So there's 3 options.
Yeah.
We have Karl de Jurassy, 1923, an Austrian-born U.S. chemist and father of the contraceptive pill, born in Vienna, Austria, dying in 2015. Well, look at that, contraceptives.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's Viagra, right? Or what? Contraceptive is what is a contraceptive?
Birth control.
Okay, so not Viagra. It's Plan B.
It's the opposite.
Okay, yeah, it's the opposite. And then we have Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, 1938, President of Liberia from 2006 through 2018, and the first elected female head of state in Africa, born in Monrovia, Liberia. 84 today, still kicking.
Wow.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah, that is.
First female head of state in Africa.
In 38, no less. That's something.
Well, she was born in 38.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
Well, let me see here.
I'm trying to justify that.
Oh, well, I guess President of Liberia from 2006.
2006, yeah.
So that's when she did it.
Okay.
Then we have Richard Dreyfuss, 1947, a U.S. actor, Jaws, Nuts, Mr. Holland's Opus, born in Brooklyn, New York, 75 today.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of weird. He went from Jaws to Nuts. And then Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yeah.
That's...
I liked a movie, and I don't remember the name of it. It was funny as hell. He was a world-famous psychiatrist.
Oh, what about Bob?
Bob. What about Bob?
What about Bob?
That movie just cracked me up.
Yeah.
And he's sure not known for that movie, but that's the one I like the best.
He tried to kill Bill Murray.
Yeah. that was just funny as
Yeah. 1 year later, we have Kate Jackson, 1948, a U.S. actress. Rookies, Charlie's Angels, born in Birmingham, Alabama. She's 74 today. Dang.
Wow.
That's old for an angel.
Yeah.
Or I guess that's young, right? I don't know. I guess angels don't have an age.
I guess we don't have the time frame for them.
Mm-hmm. Dennis Potvin, born on this date in 1953, a Canadian-born NHL defenseman, New York Islanders Norris Trophy, born in Vanier, Ontario, Canada. He is 69 today. And we have Mike Gartner, 1959, a Canadian NHL right wing, Toronto Maple Leafs, born in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And who else do we have? Winona Ryder, 51st birthday today, born on this date in 1971. She is a U.S. actress. Heather's Edward Scissorhands, born in Winona, in Minnesota. Ah, so she was in Edward Scissorhands. I guess she was a romantic interest.
I
in
have
that
no
movie?
idea.
You know about Edward Scissorhands, right?
I've never seen it, but I do know of it. Yes.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen it either. But it's this guy. He has scissors
Yeah.
for hands.
Yeah. No, I know
everything.
I know the premise.
That makes you wonder, though. How does he use the toilet? and even more concerning, how does he?
Oh. Only you would think that.
No, actually, I heard that from the internet. So
Oh.
yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the deaths. In 490, we have Petros Mangas, Patriarch of Alexandria, dies. Okay. And then we have Walter Raleigh, died on this date in 1618. It was an English scholar, poet, historian, and explorer, beheaded for treason at around the age of 64.
Oops.
That's not good.
Yeah.
And, this was this resume is looking good, and then beheaded for treason. Uh-oh.
Yeah, whoops. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We have Jean-Baptiste Léon d'Alembert, 1783, a French philosopher and mathematician. Hey, what do you want to bet? I nailed that.
You sure tried to make yourself sound Frenchish.
No, I'm just trying to intentionally butcher it because,
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Encyclopediae, died at the age of 66. And he was born in the year 1717.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have Nathan Bedford Forrest in 1877, a U.S. Confederate general, died at the age of 56. He was born in 1821.
You've seen his picture before.
I think so. Oh, well, because he was the Grand Wizard of the Klan.
Oh.
So maybe that's why as well. Because he's a Confederate general and Triple K Grand Wizard right here. We have George McClellan, 1885, a U.S. Major General, Union Army, died of a heart attack at 58. He was born in 1826. Joseph Pulitzer, a Hungarian U.S. publisher, St. Louis Post-Dispatch, New York World, and Democratic politician whose bequest founded the Columbia School of Journalism and the Pulitzer Prize, died at the age of 64 in the year 1911. Well, that's
incredible to have your name live on.
Yeah.
Well, it is amazing.
What's really cool is that he somehow has a monocle clip to a pince nez.
To a what?
A pince nez.
What's that?
Pince nez or pinch nose are glasses that actually pinch the bridge of your nose. Because if you look, he has no ear bars.
No, he doesn't.
So he has a pince nez and he has a monocle clip. So that way he can take them off, and it's just you hang them down like a monocle.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's cool. I actually want.
Maybe they're reading glasses.
Probably. Then we have Louis B. Mayer, 1957, a U.S. film producer and creator of the Star System and MGM. Oh, ratings.
Yeah.
Died at the age of 71. So thank you for the 5 stars. So.
Well, yeah, he's a known film producer, Louis B. Mayer.
Yeah. MGM, Metro Goldwyn Mayer. That's one of them. Yeah. But yeah, that's interesting. YouTube used to run off of a 5-star system too, way back in the day. Now they're just upvote and downvote. But that's why I always say 5 thumbs, because 5 stars, 5 upvotes.
Oh. Okay.
I'm kind of crossing the old with the new.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody even understands what it is when I say it anymore.
No,
because they got rid of the 5-star system back in 2007. So it's been a long time. We got Roger Turner, died on this date in 1993. He was a U.S. figure skater. He had 7-time U.S. national champions, died at the age of 92. Huh. Then we have, wow, look at that. He was born in 1901 and died in 1993. 1 century man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
92 and stayed in the century.
Yep. Then we have Von Meter, 2004, a U.S. comedian and musician, died of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease at the age of 68. Well, that's unfortunate.
Doesn't sound good.
No, and it's chronic, so. And that shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of Passive Events Daily, we stream every single day at 10 in the morning Pacific Time. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
I'm the Golden Loon.
A.K.A. Leave It to Beaver Me Cleaver. And you, audience member, are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles!